How's it going, everybody? This is Cthulhu Crisis here on the Jets of Time channel. I'm here with lordbatsy,
Hello.
and we are getting ready for our weekly race, which this week is keeping it simple with standard race flags. I actually really like standard race flags.
Yeah, I think this will be a fun back to basics race. We've been playing with a lot of stuff lately. We've been playing Mystery Seeds, we've been playing Boss Rando, Chronosanity, uh, but we're gonna have today a very, I don't know, pure game of Jets of Time. So this should be a pretty fun race. And today we've got Akuheish versus Rythyrix, and we'll be starting in just a minute here.
Yeah, so, how much do you know about these runners?
Well,
I
sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm very familiar with Aku and his play, but I don't know that I've seen a race from Rythyrix yet.
Yeah, Rythyrix probably should ask, is a relatively newer member of the community. I have run against him a couple times. Um, pretty good, especially given how new he is. So I think this will be a pretty good race. I think these two will be fairly well matched.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun race. I'm pretty excited, so I'm going to go ahead and cue our runners here.
Alrighty.
So as our runners get ready, um, there are certainly some teams or starting characters that can be a lot stronger than others. Do you? Are there certain faces you like to see at the start of a run?
Gosh, for me, well, I am always happy to see Luca, as is everybody. Probably the most useful magical character in the game. I don't think anyone would argue with that. And the longer you have her, the more time you have to get her good spells. I also like to have a really solid physical character. I would say Ayla or Robo would be my choice for my second character. But I like to have one of each. I like to have a good magic character and I like to have a good physical character.
Yeah, I agree. I love having Ayla or Magus so I can go to Dinadoro. Um, Ayla is always nice to get early. Frog can be a surprise now, since if you find Hero's Medal or Grand Leon, all of a sudden he becomes a lot more valuable. I don't know that I would choose a Marl Robo start though.
Don't know that I would choose it. Probably it can be worked with, and we'll see here in a second, what text they're gonna learn early, because especially for Marl, that will help determine whether she's going to be useful or dead weight pretty quickly. Um, if she's got ice early and Robo gets Robo Tackle early, ice tackle is not as good as fire tackle, but it's pretty good, and I wouldn't complain having that available.
Now, though, my biggest one that I'd never want to pull, like Magus, is kind of nice in that you could do Dinadoro, but I'd way
Mhm.
rather have Ayla. But with Magus, it takes so long for him to learn his first tech. I never want to start with
Mhm.
him, and I never want to find him at Cathedral.
Yeah, if he's like my fourth character, I'm good.
Oh,
That's
that's
when I like to
great.
see Magus.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, most characters in Jets of Times only require 5 tech points to get their first tech, but he needs 50. And that's why he's a little difficult to start with sometimes.
Yeah,
Right now
for
we've
sure.
got our runners wandering around checking shops. We're gonna get another key item check here.
Yeah, so the first one we got was the Moonstone, and
Yep.
it looks like Aku went ahead and got that from Snail Stop. Now Prism Shard.
Ooh.
That raises the chances of that moonstone purchase paying off.
Yep. I can see with Marl in the party and a very early Prism Shard, everyone's hackles are just going up. Um,
Yeah, if you get one strong dual tech, or if you get a Magus for that amulet, either
yeah,
way, you could do that pretty early.
it's true. I think a lot of players aren't super happy to see the Prism Shard, but I think mostly, well, I say there's two reasons for that. One is that it forces Marl. At least she's here, so she'll have been developed from the beginning. Working with her as a party member, she won't just be, well, I guess I'll randomly throw this person I'm not using into the party. But it also is time consuming. But at least with the Moonstone there's a chance of being able to drop it off. You do, of course, need access to basically every time period
You
to do
do.
the Moonstone quest. So that is a little bit of a pain as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Another great thing, though, is the loot in the basement is not to be slept on.
Mm.
You can pull some pretty great stuff. The number of times I've pulled gold studs or gold earrings or prism shards, they got the good stuff down there.
It's quite good.
So we see
Okay.
a coup going for kind of the standard market fight here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, Marl dropped, so she's not going to get the tech points and XP for this unless he revives, which he looks like he's going to do right now.
Yeah, I think that was worth it. This is gonna get characters to learn. Gosh, I think is it one tech off of
One
this
tech,
fight?
yep.
Yeah. And then Rythyrix is looking like he's gonna do the Guardia Forest fight instead.
All right, we've got Aura on Marl and Cure Beam. Aura Beam dual tech. Not what you want to see going into whatever your first check is going to be.
No, it's not without its uses, but it's definitely not what I would want first. Um, I'd say the first thing you want is full screen damage, usually.
Yeah,
Makes
I
a
want.
lot of those early fights faster.
Yeah, I want an AOE and I want a strong single target dual tech because that'll get you through Yakra. That'll get you through a whole bunch of things you're going to fight for the first
Hmm.
half of the game.
Yep, so we've got those techs for Rythyrix now. We'll see if he'll take that fight again. Looks like probably yes.
Guardia Forest strat is not a start that I've ever used, I don't think.
Oh, really? Okay.
No,
I
when I got
actually,
in, Market Fight had just, or was
uh,
pretty prevalent already. But I
yeah.
think it's interesting.
I like the Guardia Forest strategy. Actually, what I like to do is, if you go in from the south at first, you can take the fight with 2 Rolly Riders, and there's a power tap down there you can pick up.
Ooh, shock on Robo. Now
Ooh,
we're talking.
yes. That will be
It,
very nice.
yeah, now you run straight for Cathedral, which is exactly what
Hmm.
he's going to do.
Yeah, that is a great start. Um, yes, but if you take the fight in the south of Guardia Forest with the 2 Rolly Riders, and then take the Epoch back up to the north end and take the fight with 3, you will get the character's first 2 techs, unless it's Magus, from that fight, and that will also double the tech points from that fight, or possibly triple them because they've learned 2 techs because of a small bug in the game. So that is the strategy I personally prefer.
Yeah, I prefer Dinadoro over everything, but if I don't have Ayla or Magus, I'm not going to do Dinadoro.
For
Because
sure.
that one's really nice because it gets you 2 techs for each character, and I think the same number of levels as Market Fight.
I believe so. Yes, it does. It gets you about what Guardia Forest does, but it's faster. It's also a little more dangerous. I think that's the trade-off.
Yeah, because if you don't have Ayla or
It,
Magus, you can't one-shot those birds. And if you don't
mhm,
one-shot them, I think they confuse you right away, or
they
they use
they
some
do.
status.
They do. Yeah, that shock is really helping Rythyrix there through the first Cathedral fight, no problem. Third character is Chrono.
Chrono can be good if you find a nice mid-range weapon, or a
Yeah,
high tier weapon early.
he's especially nice with a high tier weapon, but I'll still use him with a mid tier. I like using him. He's fast, which is nice.
He is. You don't have to waste any speed tabs on him.
Yep. Actually, the nice thing about getting Chrono and Marl together is the accessories they start with, the ribbon, which increases hit, and the bandana, which increases speed. You can just flip them. It's great because Chrono's hit is lacking, as is Marl's speed.
Yeah, that's true. It's a really good point.
Getting
Yeah,
ready for the
I like
Rome next time.
Chrono, but I've got to find something interesting for him, or I've got to get a whole bunch of magic boosting items and just make Mage Chrono for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a mage on your team, and Chrono's the best you have.
Sometimes he really is it. No, with enough magic tabs and the right gear, he'll do you pretty good.
Yeah, he at least has some AoEs built into him.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike when you do Magela.
Yes. Alright, and it looks like Rythyrix is going to go into the back of the cathedral. Not gonna skip cathedral this time.
I think it's always interesting to see if somebody's going to go all the way through or not. Sometimes it just comes down to if you're happy with your team, and with this team in particular, you know you aren't gonna need, or you already have Marl and Robo, so
Mhm.
no key item checks are gated behind anybody else. So it would
Exactly.
be a valid choice, but it's also pretty nice to get a more optimal team if Guardia Castle holds somebody useful like Luca.
For sure.
This is a team I would love to find Luca as the fourth character,
Oh,
because there
absolutely.
are
Yeah.
multiple high tier teams you could make out of that.
Yeah, at this point, in the back of Guardia Castle, probably any character but maybe Frog would make a player pretty happy. And I only say maybe Frog because you usually need to find the right items for Frog to be particularly useful. Especially with Robo also here. He's a lot easier to outfit to be effective than Frog is. But I think there's a good chance of a useful character being hidden back there. So I can understand both players taking this play.
Rythyrix just a little bit ahead of Aku throughout this whole section. He just started that cathedral
Mhm.
just a hair earlier. It's going
Yep.
to be really interesting to see how close it continues to be leaving this boss.
Indeed. That shock really helped because those first couple of fights being faster, I think gave him that edge. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes because Akko is particularly good at overworld movement. He's really efficient at it. So we'll see how that compares.
Yeah, Aku is an incredible runner.
Mhm.
Was a monster in like all the competitive events we've done in the last 6 months. It's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of this race goes. I'm
All right.
interested to see what kind of divergence we see, whether it be using different parties or doing different checks or both. That's what's got me really intrigued here. Is I think so far everything in this seed makes me think it's going to be a personal preference on
Mhm.
those decisions.
Yeah, we'll see, especially if anyone goes for that prism shard early on. I didn't see whether Rythyrix checked Snail Stop, but I'm going to assume he probably did or will. Most people will at least take a look at the item that's there pretty early on. Ah, Chrono's got early Confuse. That is great.
That's only as good as the sword in his hand, though.
That's true, but it's also a component of a lot of important double tech.
That's true. That's a really good point.
You know, depending on what Marl gets, maybe Ice Sword 2's on the table. If Luca's found, that puts Fire Sword 2 on the table, which is even better. Alright, Yakra down for Rythyrix. I'm assuming he's going to grab his 4th character, and then things are going to get interesting.
Now, Desert is available as soon as you have Ice 2 as well. That could be another point where one player might be more comfortable going for a riskier play than another might. So that's another point that, depending what happens here, we may see some more divergence too.
That is true.
So Rythyrix running up the stairs to get their next character. We have bets in chat on who it's going to be. A lot of people are saying Magus. Pseudo-Arc hoping Frog.
And it's Luca.
It is Luca.
Ah, I'm sure he's very happy to see her.
So do you keep... I keep Marl, and then I choose either Robo or Chrono to keep.
Gosh. I haven't, since I'm not playing, I haven't been able to dig into the menu and look at text. I think that would make my decision for me right now. It would be, you know, I don't know what Luca comes with right now. Can I pair her with anybody for better damage? That's what I would look at before making my final decision. I'm happy to use any of these characters. Marl slightly less than the others.
She's
Ooh,
got
yeah.
Fire 2 Fire start.
Yeah,
And
so
she's going in.
yeah, and since she has Fire 2 and Chrono has Confuse, I'm keeping her with Chrono. And I don't know if I would keep Marl or Robo. I think since Robo has Shock, right now for me that would give him the edge, but it just kind of depends.
Yeah, it's kind of a question of potential versus right now. Marl has potential with Antipode for some of these dungeons to just annihilate them, but Robo has the tech he needs now.
Mm, yeah, and
We'll have to see what's on the bridge here. Robo Ribbon? Nope, Bent Sword.
Bent Sword, okay.
I think I keep Bent Sword.
I think
But
I
I
would reset.
understand why somebody would reset.
I think I would reset, but I know where it is. That's the thing. So since we don't even know where Frog is yet, we don't know that we can use that go mode. But if I find Frog, if I find the other piece of the sword, then hey, just zoom right back to Xenon. Go get it, no problem.
Oh, and
What
Rythyrix
does it
running
play?
straight for the desert. Are they looting or are they completing it?
Right. I didn't see if Marl has any ice damage yet. She doesn't necessarily have to have ice 2. Ice 1 would be fine.
Okay, we have Life Confuse on Chrono. I know we have Aura on Marl, but I don't think she has ice.
Yeah, looks like no ice according to chat.
Yeah, it looks like we might just be looting then.
Pseudorc says that every time you reset Sword on Bridge, Ozzy drops prism specs.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm really excited to see what Aku's doing here.
Hound. Lots of nice stuff in the desert.
Aku is going Luca Robo Chrono as
Luca
well.
Robo Chrono.
Or no, that's different. So we do see a little bit of different party here.
Honestly, with these 4 characters, basically any 3 of them is a pretty good setup. So yeah, it's very I would say it's very circumstantial. I would love if this was me if Chrono got Luminaire because then we'd have Super Volt. In Jets, Super Volt has been changed to take Luminaire from Chrono instead of Lightning 2, which increases its damage a pretty good amount.
Yeah, I
So,
really like the Super Volt change. That
mhm.
was something I pushed for a little bit because I just thought it would. I love that tech, and there's so many fights where it can be so useful. So making it
Yeah,
scale a little nicer
I
really
agree.
is rewarding.
It's a good change. Aku has pet the validation cat. That means he wins.
Oh, there's still time. All right, Magic Cave versus Dinadoro
All
here.
right.
Magic Cave, it's actually kind of funny. So when I first started playing this, Hecarim would have kind of been the meta play here, or not Hecarim. Dinadoro would have been the meta when I first
Hmm.
started, and then slowly things started changing over to Hecarim Cave. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because Masamune can be a really tough fight this early, especially if you
Yeah.
skip bridge.
Yeah, they can. I suppose kind of the toss-up is, with magic not unlocked and no sign of the gate key yet. Of course, it's still early. Some people may not choose to do Hecarim Cave as early because they want to get the full benefit from all the tech points you can get in there, because you can get quite a bit of tech points. Some of these battles are worth 20, 25, which will get doubled on any character who learns a tech from those fights. So some people do like to wait until they've been to the end of time, but often that's not realistic. So we'll see which play works out here.
Yeah, because a big part of which play is going to work out, as long as both dungeons are able to be completed, um, it'll just come down to who's going to unlock end of time access earlier, because that is going to give them a pretty big advantage.
Hmm.
If Dinadoro holds the gate key or the pendant, it's a, it's a bit different for Aku, who might get, jerky or the other half of the sword. So we're just gonna have to see which way this folds out.
Indeed. It's interesting. We'll see how Rythyrix does if he's going to use this party. Um, Most people would probably be using Luca, especially going up Dinadoro, because Masa and Mune are pretty tough, and that Fire Sword too might be the best damage available between these characters right now.
I like that Robo is in Aku's team. That may, I think that's
Mm.
almost certainly temporary, depending what else we find. But that's gonna give him shock, fire two, and then I don't know if Chrono has anything. Chrono might just be ethering the others, but
Yeah, I think that's his job right now.
but that's gonna be a lot more useful than having Marl in this situation.
Absolutely. And Rythyrix went ahead and swapped to the 1000 AD team, which is a great solid team.
And Black Rock acquired.
Ooh. Black Rock being the Dark Eternal Rock, and we've got 2/3 of that team assembled, so if Magus shows up, well, we'll see.
As Aku starts the Hecarim battle, Rythyrix is heading into Massa and Mune. And we're going to see, I mean, obviously Massa Mune is going to take longer because it's two boss fights.
Mm,
So I think we're going to see what Aku gets first. And then it'll be interesting to see where he goes next.
yeah, the item he gets might even decide that, so we will see. Luckily also for Rythyrix, I believe Luca does have Hypno Wave, and Masa and Mune in their twin forms are susceptible to pretty much any status effect. So if you're able to stop them, sleep them, chaos them, then you can stop their counterattacks, which he's about to get hit with both of them, I think. Or maybe just the first one. Okay. Right, because he didn't hit both twins.
The Hecarim fight is not being kind to Aku. But that early life on Chrono means we get to kind of save the day a little bit and be a little more reckless as long as
Mm-hmm.
we keep Chrono's health up.
Right, Hecarim is into his counterattack stance, which means time for healing, if nothing else. Ah, yes. Chad is correcting me that Rythyrix's Luca may not have Hypno Wave yet. I think Aku's has already gotten it. So I apologize for the mix-up.
Yeah, I think it was Luca's third tech. Aku finishes off Hecarim as Rythyrix finishes Massa and Mune, and now goes into the tougher fight, the much tougher
Mm,
fight. This is going to be challenging, I think. I would be nervous going into this fight a little bit.
yeah, there was some decent armor in the desert, so Rythyrix's gear isn't awful or anything. So there's at least that. But we'll see how it goes, because this guy hits pretty hard.
It'll be interesting to see which tech is going to disperse the whirlwind energy if needed to. Actually, that did a whole bunch of damage.
Yeah, that was good.
And Aku did get the gate key, and
Ooh,
he's walking into the end of time right now.
perfect. That is exactly the play to do with 3 characters that need magic unlocked.
I don't even know that I check Dactyl Nest character.
I think I'd agree with that. You know, I would be very satisfied with these 4 characters, even if I didn't know which configuration I wanted at the end yet. I would be pretty happy.
We see in the Massa Mune fight here that Confuse is the whirlwind dispersal, so that's perfect.
Yep.
So he was able to disperse that, and this fight should be just about over. A couple more rounds here.
Yep. I believe it is always Chrono's second tech that disperses the whirlwind energy. If he has life as his second tech, I don't know if you just can't do it.
You
Maybe
can't
someone
do
in
it,
chat
yep.
can just, yeah. Luckily, it's not always a super important technique. Especially if you can just, damage him before he damages you.
And Masamune doing his signature move of attacking the only character he could have killed.
They're smart like that.
See, this fight can be pretty tough this early, especially after skipping
Mhm.
bridge. I think they're gonna make it through it just fine, but
Yeah,
kudos on the play on that.
yeah, I think I agree that this is gonna probably go okay in the end. It could have gone faster. Probably, even not knowing where the gate key was, Hecarim Cave first was probably the safer play if you didn't want to do bridge.
Aku doing some shopping before heading into. It looks like he's headed for Reptite Lair.
Yep. And this is a good mid-tier shop. I always like to check that one. I love mid-ethers. They're one of my favorite things to find, and that is a shop that can sometimes have them. I don't think it did this time, but I think it's worth checking.
See, I'm one of those people that I don't let myself buy nice things. So I never buy mid ethers. I hope to find mid ethers. But I can't pay those prices.
Ooh, there's the good dick.
Yeah, quick secret tunnel
Secret
for Aku.
tunnel. Yep.
Shout out, shout out to Azurkale in the chat.
All right. And there was a Star Sword down there, which is not Chrono's best weapon, but it's fairly good. It's like a upper mid-tier weapon for him.
And it's Chrono's best weapon right now.
Yep. I'd say that was a good find.
I can see
Um,
Aku on the camera on his stream, and he definitely looks very happy to have found that.
yes. Tekenu in chat asking if there's a way to get a quick dig, and I don't know if anyone can shed light on that. I've played with it, and I've had a little bit of luck maybe manipulating them into dig spots, but I can't tell if it's just confirmation bias on my part.
Yeah, as far as I know, the best thing you can do is go in and out of that door and listen for the sound. But the
Mhm.
amount of patience that you have to leave something like that is up to you. I've seen people that do it like 2 or 3 times, and I've seen people that do it literally until they get the tunnel.
Yeah, I usually give myself about 60 seconds to get a dig, and I usually get one, a good dig. And then if I don't, I just leave it. What I'm unsure of is if...
Oh, look at this. So
Ooh.
Rythyrix got the pendant.
Crisis arm! Aku's got a crisis arm!
Oh, that's not good. So we've got pure time travel divergence here. Aku's spending some time in prehistory while
Alright.
Rythyrix runs straight to the future. That is great.
This is gonna be interesting. Oh, that crisis arm, though. Uh, a month or so ago, I was racing and got a crisis arm in the tunnels, and that is probably what kept me in first place. So I'm sure he's very excited to get that, especially since I think Aku was in that race and got a different tunnel than I did. So,
Yeah, I believe you're right.
I think this is karma for Aku. This is good karma.
Now, here's the thing that's really interesting right now. If I'm Rythyrix, I think I've made the play of the century. Like, I'm so happy to have found Pendant in a spot that
Mhm.
nobody else is going to go first.
Sure.
But we don't know if that's going to pay off yet.
No, we don't. I mean,
If
we've seen a lot of fun stuff, but we haven't seen a whole lot in the way of Go mode yet. So that's still kind of up in the air.
That's true. I'm hoping for Dreamstone here and Desert Ruby Knife. I think that'd be interesting.
Yes. All right. And yes, chat has insinuated, but we'll definitely have to pay attention to the use of the crisis arm, because while we refer to it as a super broken item, it does take some skill to use. You need to have a good number as the last digit of Robo's HP for it to be particularly effective. And, when you're fighting and getting hit constantly, that number can change. There are some nice things, which is one, Robo's HP, I believe his natural HP always ends with a 5 so you can heal him to max and always have a 5. And if you've got a silver earring on him, I believe it's always a 7, and I think with a gold earring it's always a 9. And maybe someone can confirm that with me or for me, but I think that's true.
So, question: as we start the Nizbal fight on Aku, and we get closer to Dragon Tank on Rythyrix, I want to ask you, Batsy, and chat, who is everybody's favorite boss, like design-wise?
Oh man, gosh.
Like whether you like their animations, or you just think they're a cool character, like Azala, or Nizbal is hilarious looking. What is everybody's favorite boss? Everybody knows mine already.
Um,
Everybody knows that mine's Giga Gaia.
I thought it might be. Ooh, a gold earring from the big guard. That's really
Very
nice.
nice. Pseudo Arc says his favorite boss, the rat in
The rat and
Aristo.
ours. The rat is the true final boss. Everything
It's
else is just bonus content.
obviously a reset from Rythyrix there.
Mhm.
Unfortunate.
Like, in terms of the boss and the character, I
They
kind of
had
like.
not
Yeah.
saved since before
Ew.
Dinadoro left.
Ouch. Ooh. Oh, I'm sure that happens to the best of us, but ouch. That is painful. We'll see if he goes ahead and does the same thing, or decides to take a different path.
That is unfortunate. I think Dragon Tank wasn't going well.
Yeah, Dragon Tank wasn't going well, so there was a reset, and the last save was at Dinadoro.
I always tell people, and I know it doesn't help in this particular run, um, but I always tell new players the biggest piece of advice: save early and save often.
Mhm.
You never know when something's going to surprise you.
Absolutely. Especially in randomizer runs. People who are used to vanilla speedrunning, which at one point was me, you don't necessarily want to save that often because every millisecond counts. But in a randomizer, there is a lot of extra time you're taking, relatively extra time you're taking to think, you're taking to work with options that are different from a previous run. It is not quite as a just the time margins aren't quite as razor thin. So absolutely take the time to save. You're probably not going to lose a race because you took the time to save.
And Chrono Trigger in particular is one of those games that is so good about always giving you a save point before something that's going to kill you.
That is true.
Almost every time. There are two exceptions.
What are those exceptions?
The exceptions are they don't give you a save point after double golems, but it's only one room to backtrack.
That is true.
And then one of the mutants, in between mutant and Lavos
Mm,
or Elder Lavos spawn, they don't give you a
yeah,
save point there. And
that's right.
again, you just have to go back and reuse the old one. But I've done that in races live like this,
That is true.
where I reset or died and had not saved and had to redo those bosses.
Yep. Aku well on his way to getting Prism Shard. That was a really nice dodge on that first snake. Almost hit him, but didn't.
Ooh, Power
Power
Seal.
Seal. Awesome.
And with
I
that
love a
ruby
good.
knife, we're
uh,
only one item away from go mode.
Yep.
That's not it.
There's the clone though. That's interesting.
That is. When will Rythyrix decide to go back?
Hmm.
They each hold some of the keys now.
This is a really interesting seed, and not a particularly trolly one.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty kind with items, gear, and characters and techs. It's not completely wide open, but there are a lot of options for places to go. I think Aku was kind of getting to the end of his options, other than Dinadoro.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Um, I don't know which go mode we're gonna end up getting in the seed still.
Yeah, I mean, after this, he's gotta do Denadoro or Desert
Oh,
at this point, right?
it's got to be so. Moonstone might hold progression because
Mhm.
both items are available. Both neither
Yeah,
runner has them both, but
exactly. But Pendant is early available, so we know that getting to the future is fairly simple, meaning Moonstone can be done.
I'm gonna call now. Moonstone holds one go mode. Arisdome holds the other. That's just a guess. I haven't looked at anything. I'm just guessing.
Mhm. And the wild card is where's Frog, I suppose, because he's needed for the third go mode.
Frog is, I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
Dactyl
maybe.
or Vanilla.
I'll vote for Frogs in Protodome, but we may not even find out.
That's true. I know I'm not checking Protodome unless I have both sword pieces.
Yep. Oof, I hate text missing.
Ooh, Marl takes one on the head. Robo is avenging for only 2,600 damage.
Yep. And that's only with a 5.
I thought it was funny in the DS version and newer. The ultimate weapon for Luca is based off the last digit of her MP.
Right, that's right, it is. I see
I always
Luca
thought
has
that
been
was cool.
player too. I have not seen if he's saved this time, but I imagine that's going to be in the prison cell or in the room right before Dragon Tank. Saving in the prison cell makes sense because you can heal first. You do not get a free heal when you turn yourself in to go into the cell. So make sure you drink the water or beer or whatever that is. Maybe don't think about it too hard, but Guardia's prison system, I don't want to know, but
I mean, their prison system's obviously very good since they're literally doing beating up a prisoner for no reason right now for making noise.
alright. Aku healing again. See if he pets the kitty again. Yep, Aku pets Validation Cat and wins again. It is an interesting choice, sending Luca for the prison sequence instead. It may have been an accident, it may not have been. She's clearly able to deal the damage necessary. The main problem with Luca is that she can be slow if you haven't given her a lot of speed tabs or equipment.
Well, she hasn't been sleeping well, and there's just a lot going on.
I will note, since I saw Rythyrix mashing through the end of the fight, this is just a little bit of trivia that not everybody knows, but the messages at the end of battle, you can just hold A, and they'll scroll through very quickly. You don't have to mash those text boxes.
Oh, very neat.
Yep, most other things you do, but not that. Save your thumb some grief.
Aku getting the swag chest from Desert
Very
before
nice.
he starts the fight against Red Knight.
Yep, you never know, it might be useful against Red Knight.
That's true.
Rythyrix setting Fritz free.
I found a squirt bottle.
Oof.
Not doing a lot of damage. Chrono needs to hit every confuse because he's the only one putting out decent damage right now.
Yeah, it's alright. It's definitely not the worst Iceless Ret Knight fight I've ever seen because I might have been, playing that one the other week. But he's doing alright. The only problem is because of low hit stats on both Chrono and Robo and high evasion on Ret Knight, it's probably going to be a little bit of a pain. I do think he's dealing enough damage that the core. Yeah, poor Robo.
Sorry, I'm laughing. I'm laughing at Robo getting his poor gears stuck in the sand
Yeah.
time and time again while he just watches Chrono beat up the monster.
Mm-hmm. Oof, and yeah, with a 0, that Crisis Arm doing nothing, and the core ran away, but luckily he still wins the fight. The core does double the experience and TP from the fight. Maybe the money. I forget if there's money. But it's nice to kill the core, but not necessary.
Alright, free ether. Aku is ready. Alright, let's see what this item though is, because this could be huge. This could reveal a go mode.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very interested.
There are a lot of options in this seed. Aku doesn't know all of them yet. There are a lot of options.
Okay. Hopefully Rythyrix did take advantage of that save point. Checking the shop. The shop will always have lapises. Oh, there's mood ethers. That's just a personal thing, I suppose, but I like to buy 10 or 20 if I can, because it just speeds up a lot of fights. Especially if you're using things that cost 20 MP, like triple kick or flare or even
Yeah,
luminaire. That's
you're
why I like
probably
them.
right. It's just so much gold.
It's true.
Oh, it's
It depends.
jerky.
Oh,
That better
well,
be a rainbow.
I know, or it could be, a prism helm. I wouldn't say no
I'm
to
calling it
what it
now.
is.
Second crisis arm, for the other hand.
Ugh. I mean, if you could sell it. Which is how I afford mid-ethers. I sell things belonging to characters I'm not using. Like if Magus is in the burrow and I'm pretty sure I'm not using that go mode, just all those sickles you're getting in your
Oh
inventory, just sell
my
them.
goodness. This is either brilliant or madness. Aku
Wow,
heading to Mount Woe. He heard me talking about Giga Gaia, my
mm,
boy.
clearly. He's going down the ladder, so
He's going. You know
and
what though?
gosh.
If with Robo having shock and Luca Chrono having a good single target tech, it's a
Hmm.
great play. I
Yeah.
mean, if it pays off, you're perfectly set up to beat Giga Gaia, and there's so much XP on the way there and gear that,
In gear. Yeah.
yeah, if this gets a go mode, he's going to be ready to use that go mode.
Yeah. I'm actually wondering if does Aku feel ahead and thus feels like he has the time to do this? Does he feel behind and thus this is the gambit that might save the run? We know about the unfortunate reset incident that Rythyrix had, but obviously Aku doesn't. So it's a very interesting play.
It
Um,
is.
I
And
hope.
I think it's one I might make if I remembered that WoW is available now. I'm
Hmm.
still bad about forgetting that it's available.
I am as well. For those who aren't caught up or those who don't know, you did used to have to unlock the year 12,000 BC through either Magus's castle or Tyranno Lair in order to do Mount Woe. That is no longer the case. Once you've got end of time access via the gate key or via the factory in the future, you can go there.
And it's especially embarrassing that I forget it because I pushed so hard to get that into the game.
It's understandable though. We were playing it the other way for so long, and
Hmm.
it was just almost never a good idea to go because of the circumstances. It's hard to, get your brain out of that habit.
So the question here, who gets better stuff? Do we get better stuff from the
Ooh.
sealed doors in the future, or do we get better stuff from WoW? Uh, Statistically, we probably get better stuff from WoW, but it's still
Yeah.
possible. The one in Aristome, the sealed door, is the same tier as WoW. So
Hmm.
you've got like 3 or 4 chests of a high tier.
Yep. So we will see.
It's like we're heading to end of time.
Yep, via the factory.
No moon skip though. If you bunch up your characters at the computer console there before you activate it, you can
Mm-hmm.
hold down and spam A through the dialogue and get out of the building before
Oh,
the enemies start
is
the fight.
that how it works?
Yep.
Okay, I knew you could do that, but I didn't know how.
Yep, you got to group them up at the top and just
Okay,
go back and forth till they're all grouped up. Talk to
sure.
the computer and run out.
Yep.
That is moon skip. A jets only trick.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, we're gonna see factory here because Rythyrix can't afford to not get tech points anymore.
Yep.
With 2/3 of his team having to be people that need magic unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good play.
Yeah, no, and with a party with a lot of lightning damage, the factory won't be too bad. That can, honestly, the lightning damage can really make or break the factory, because if you don't have the right AoEs to take out these little acids and alkalines, this place could be a huge pain, but
I still
uh,
don't know that I wouldn't have already done Hecarim by now.
that's true. I mean, I agree that I think I would have done Hecarim, but if you're going to do factory, this is a pretty good setup to do it.
And Aku having a lot of time practiced on Mount Woe,
Hmm.
uh, racing Ice Age and doing asyncs for that, helping me test things on it. So
Absolutely.
definitely somebody who spent some time climbing mountains.
Hmm. And anyone who wants to practice Mount Woe without having to go super out of your way, try Ice Age. It's actually pretty fun. It's a little quicker than a standard game usually, all other things being equal. Ooh, a haste helm for Aku.
Very nice. And a vigil hat.
Vigil
That
hat.
might be
Oh,
useful. Gold
gold
stud.
stud.
Oh my goodness. Aku, you can't do this.
uh, he's good. He just has to find go mode, and he's gold.
Right there, it's almost to the Zabi system terminal.
Mm.
I was trying to remember the name of it. Yeah, this is rough. A nice amulet pull, though, right
Mm,
after Zabi.
never say no to
Aku
one of those.
taking that little bit of extra XP here. Um, going ahead and taking this fight. You can run from that fight, um, which can be helpful because their status can, man, that can be awful.
Yeah, if you're not faster than those guys with a couple of characters, that fight can be pretty dangerous. But Chrono is fast and had Luminaire, so it's all about knowing what your circumstances are and when you can take risks, when you shouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the smartest things I ever had told to me when I first started was from It's Taco Hero. And he said the biggest thing new players need to know, it's not knowing where to grind, it's knowing when you need to grind and when you don't need to grind. Like when you need, he said it's
Hmm.
more important to know when to take fights than it is to know every single skip.
Yep, absolutely.
Though I do absolutely recommend checking out Moon Blizzard's video on the encounter skips because there's so much time you can shave off. But if you skip every fight that you're capable of, sometimes that puts you in a worse spot in a run.
Yeah, it's very true. So there are a lot of fights where, or a lot of dungeons, I'll say, where, people will even just pick and choose, like, this is the fight I'd like to take if I think I need it. It's good to know which fights give you a lot of bang for your buck.
Another vigil hat
Ooh,
for Aku.
well,
Aku is just piling his cave with treasure at the
he
end
is
of
just
this.
set for go mode.
I'm really really hoping for is Rythyrix to get a super fast go mode, like to get his hands on go mode first and get a
Hmm.
real nice head start going into it and see if these items will make the difference. It's gonna be interesting. There's still some run left.
Okay, well, so it's Ayla in Protodome, meaning I'm wrong about Frog. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, there's my friend.
Your boy
Giga rising
Gigagaya.
up. My boy.
I had to think about who my favorite boss is, and I'm not sure. I did play Chrono Trigger back in the 90s pretty much without guides, so part of me wants to pick Son of Sun just because I was really, really proud when I finally figured out how to kill it. It took a lot of futzing around um, with 5 flares, unlike 4 in Jets, we took one out. With 5 flares and only one can deal damage to him, and most of the time you're just eating counterattacks.
Yeah.
Uh, it can take you a while to play around enough to stumble upon the solution to that fight effectively.
Moon Blizzard saying that the situation I'm hoping for would be Rythyrix getting Chrono Trigger from Son of Sun and Clone from the Shard.
Hmm.
And um he still has Airstone to do, right? I don't think
Believe
he's done
so, yeah.
Eris.
Yeah, just factory so far.
Yeah. Which I don't blame him at all for running to get end of time access from factory. If I was if I was more confident or I had better key items, maybe I would put it off one more check, but looking for
Hmm.
that gate key, but with where he's at, you just need to get magic.
Yeah.
Son of Sun's a good choice though. That's a tricky boss in vanilla.
Yeah, I died to him many, many times, and then I was just so happy when I finally got through it. I felt very accomplished. All right, moment of truth for Aku here.
I know when I first played vanilla as a kid, I always would get stuck at Dragon Tank. I would never be able to beat Dragon Tank because I just wouldn't stop and heal in the middle of the fight.
Mm,
So it took me
and
quite a few playthroughs before I finally got past Dragon Tank and said,
yeah,
"Oh, there's a lot more game here."
quite a bit actually. All right, looks like it was the Grand Leon on Mount Woe. So in terms of key items, that didn't pay off, but in terms of every other item, I'd say it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aku is possibly feeling a little behind at this point, but I think he's still in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think a lot of the bosses that Rythyrix struggled with are going to be incredibly fast. I think we're gonna see them um, be pretty close, depending what decisions get made next. Because we do still have Prism Shard and Moonstone,
Hmm.
but neither player knows that they have both parts. Aku, it looks like, is probably going to be the first one to get both pieces, and he may check Moonstone pretty quick, depending.
Yeah, he's already done Prism Shard, so it won't take long.
Oh, Mien pointing out Aku placed the Moonstone in the past already too, so he
Yep.
he fully intends on doing that at some point if it comes up.
Yeah. It's never a bad idea, I think, to just drop it off if you get prehistory access, because you never know if you're going to need it, and if you don't, well, it probably didn't take you that long.
Well, and if you pick it back up, when you pick it back up as the Sunstone, you also get that extra item.
Yes,
Um,
you do.
so that can be pretty handy. You get that from Tabin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to step into Rythyrix's shoes for a moment. If I'm them, I think I'm way behind after that
Mm-hmm.
reset issue. Um, but I think they're probably closer than they think right now. It'd be really
That's
interesting
true.
to see what
Mm.
decisions get made and what people choose to do here.
Yeah, it all depends on the checks. All right, and the mountains are nice once again. Ooh, and Rythyrix just misses the rat on that run there. Unfortunately, oh, okay, he had gone back already, so it's fine. I'm like going back and forth, and Aku picking up
I'm
the black.
really curious what is going to be in Eris.
Yeah,
There are a
this
lot
is
of interesting choices. Something like Thomas Pop, because then it
mm-hmm,
pushes you into: are you going to go do Thomas Pop or Giant's Claw, or are you going to go do the trial?
mm-hmm,
there are a lot of things that could come up here that could
yep.
open up more decisions.
Even Son of Sun, Genodome is still out there.
Yeah,
Okay, let's see what's in this treasure room here too. Elixir, Hyper Ether, Gold Earring, and a
Dash
Dash
Ring,
Ring.
very nice.
Yeah, it's not a bad haul at all.
Here you go, Luca. You're as fast as the rest of us.
Nice one
Mass,
shot.
yeah,
Muff there.
absolutely. Poor guy. Am I the only one? Like, I really like Massa and Mune, and I think it's cool that they come from Zeal and that Zeal is like spread out throughout everything. Am I the only one that's like, What's Doreen up to? How come we don't get
I-
like a side quest with Doreen?
I've kind of wondered what her deal is too.
Doreen
Yeah,
should give me like a new sword, or Doreen should be at Cyrus's grave.
she should do something.
Yeah.
She's a little. I mean, she's not one of the sword twins, but she could still. I don't know. She could be part of somebody's magic related quest or something. You'd think
Feels
she'd
like
still be out there.
wasted opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one shot Masamoon.
Yep. I was gonna say with a crisis arm, and that boss only has 3,600 HP, so
now,
absolutely
well,
within
now
the
it
realm of
has 0
possibility.
HP.
Absolutely. All right. It's looking like Aris Dome was the ribbon, the Robo
That
ribbon, which is
is
mm,
unfortunate, is what
yeah,
that is.
it's nice for Robo, but at this point, especially knowing how behind he must feel, that's not what I would be wanting right now.
Oh, he's thinking about where to go. Do some shopping.
Mhm.
Oh, you're right, is there?
Ethers.
Man, okay.
Uh, she is in Chrono Cross, I guess, but some of us like to pretend that game doesn't exist.
I will bite my tongue today. You wait till April 8th, we'll have this conversation. So we
Yeah.
see both players after all of their adventures out in the world, they have both chosen to go where the other person went from the start.
Mhm.
So now Aku is gonna head towards the future, and Rythyrix is gonna head through Hecarim Cave and into prehistory. Oh no, Aku is gonna do the trial. Or no, I'm wrong. He's definitely going to the trial.
Yes. Gosh, this is interesting.
Reptite Lair is not in play, and Rythyrix did decide against Son of Sun, I believe. Which,
Mhm.
I mean, heck, at this point, Hecarim Cave is such a quick fight. I'm probably running through here and skipping all the fights. Although, oh, you know what? He just got magic access,
Yeah, he only
so
just
he's
got
needing to make
magic.
up some of that. So
So at this point,
yeah, that's probably the right play.
yeah, gosh. Where the clone was the clone behind the prism shard? Is that what I'm forgetting now.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. At this point, I
Yeah,
won't be
clone was shard.
surprised if we have to see at least Giant's Claw or Genodome or the Moonstone.
Yeah, there's a few different ways this seed could go at this point. I think Aku is taking the lead bit by bit
Yeah.
because he's going to smash through Arisdome, and then I know Aku pretty well. He's going to go straight to Son of Sun almost
Hmm.
certainly right after. If he doesn't just check Moonstone right away. And
Absolutely.
if Moonstone was the play, that would be really a cool finish.
Yeah, it would be. I think I agree. Right now, I think Aku is I'll say he's the favorite to take it. I think circumstances are a lot more in his favor. But depending on where the key items are, it could flip. So we will see. Chat is wishing very unkindly that Moonstone is things like Pop into Blade.
Can we get like pop into? Let's see. What would be worst case scenario? Pop into Heroes Metal into.
Oh, yeah, possibly something like that. Right. The sealed chest was a memory cap into a wallet.
Azur Kale saying people are always wishing suffering upon him when he does runs. Azur, just wait for your crowd control run coming up. You'll see how many people are wishing.
Well, but you're right, it's only fair. I don't know.
Yeah.
I try to only wish like medium misfortune. I hope people will find the jerky, but I also hope that the jerky will be like prism specs or something good. So, you know.
Don't blink or you might miss stereo bosses. Because I don't think Dragon Tanks
Mhm.
can be around for long.
Neither Hecarim, I think. But we'll do Dragon Tank. If this does... Okay, that's not quite enough for Hecarim. But one more should do it over on Rythyrix's side. Hecarim has 2,100 HP.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, his HP is really low.
I didn't realize it was that low. All right, now switch places. Almost certainly. Now, I could also see. Oh no, I don't think Rythyrix is going to do the Moonstone very likely because he didn't buy it earlier. It might not even be in his mind right now.
That is true. Especially when things go wrong in your run, it is really easy to forget all those little details from the beginning of the run where you're like, I'll remember that for later. Haha, no, I won't.
The
It
number of
happens.
times I've gone to fix the Masamune and Melchior's like, all right, that's great. Now where's the other half of the sword? And I'm like, oh, it's at the
Oh.
snail stop. I'll be right back. I think we've all
Yep,
done that.
absolutely.
Aku running into Aristelm. You know he wants that sealed door. I don't know what for. He's got plenty of gear.
Mm.
Does he
Well,
need a dash ring?
didn't it have a gold earring in it?
I know it had a dash ring.
It did
Maybe a
have a
gold
dash
earring.
earring. If I'm remembering right, it might have been a stud. I think it was a gold something. If it was
Yeah,
an
Aku
earring,
had a stud on. Whoa,
yeah.
I
If it was
know,
an
but
earring, then Robo with that crisis arm is just set because
oh, that's
I be
true.
I believe that will hold the last digit of his HP at 9.
Rythyrix heading up Dactyl Nest, looking
Hmm.
for maybe Frog.
All right, so we're gonna find out.
We know it's not Ayla.
Yep. So it's Frog or Magus. They're who's left.
Now, Dactyl Nest is one of those dungeons that takes a little bit of time to really learn and get good at. It's not even really a full dungeon. Um, but if you spend that little bit of time getting good at it and practicing the skips, you can get pretty regular at doing them. You can get through this really quickly. I can tell you, practicing starts for Lost Worlds or Lost Worlds Plus, I got really good at Dactyl Nest.
Yep.
Such a big difference between a good and a bad run here.
Yeah, it does save a decent chunk of time. Dactyl Nest is tricky though, because since the skips are so finicky, I feel like you need to be very good at the skips.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they may not actually save you time. Um, if you're not that good at them, it's probably just faster to hit the fight and then run. There's Frog.
Yep. Frog on Dactyl.
So
That
we
does raise the chances of us getting a Magus Go mode.
Yep.
And I'm
The
afraid if somebody finds Magus Go mode, somebody else might find a different Go mode,
mhm.
and that could spell disaster.
I'll be interested to see if somebody finds Magus Go mode and doesn't take it. There's the dash ring.
Oh, there's
Gold
the gold
earring.
earring. You were right.
Yep. All right. Now just throw that on Robo. Yeah, I've actually been meaning to ask someone who can dive into the game's code if they're able to confirm the whole silver earring always gives Robo a 7 and the last digit gold always gives him a 9 because I think that's true, but I haven't played with it enough to be 100% positive.
Ooh, Aku trying to go a bit too quick through there, and the bugs are gonna get him.
Yep.
as Rythyrix heads further down into Reptite Lair.
Yep,
And
not
we
going for
know
bigs.
the ruby knife is waiting him there.
Mm-hmm.
So he is about to end up right back where he was. Just a minute. As Aku gets the good news of the Robo Ribbon. So do you put the gold earring or the Robo Ribbon?
Gosh. If I've got a crisis arm and okay, so Sudork actually is confirming that silver does not always give a good digit, but gold always gives a 7. Given the crisis arm, I pick the earring. But I think in every other case I pick his ribbon.
Yeah, the barrier and speed is nice on the ribbon. I think they're
It's
both good calls.
yeah, for sure.
And here comes Moonstone for Aku.
Yep.
Except I think he may have just realized he needs to
Needs
get
to
the
pick it up.
Sunstone.
Yep. That is a very easy one to forget.
So if I'm Rythyrix, I think because this isn't going to change anything for his options. So after this, he's got Son of Sun, he's got Prism Shard, he's got Mount Woe, and
Mhm.
he's got Genodome. I
That is
would
true.
think Son of Sun would be the next play, but it also weighs pretty hard on you in a race where you think you are in relation to your opponent. You might think, well,
Absolutely.
they're ahead of me. They've already done that. If that's right, I'm already behind. Maybe I take the
Mhm.
gamble on Woe. Maybe I take the gamble on Geno. There's a lot of options.
Indeed. And this is such an interesting seed. We don't really have everything is scattered such that we don't really have any indication of where things are. Sometimes because of dependencies, you can start to puzzle out where things might be found. But
Hmm.
at this point, I have no idea.
Yeah, we've already found most of the items that are going to have logical progression. The only thing we know for sure is that one of those checks has to be Thomas Pop.
Yep.
Everything else, or I guess we don't even necessarily know that with Heroes Medal and everything else in the pool. What will this give us? The Chrono
The
Trigger.
trigger.
That is
All
future
right.
go mode.
Go, Aku, go.
That's gonna be
Wow.
challenging. Aku grabbing the go mode first.
That's amazing. Wow, this seed.
That's gonna put Rythyrix in a tight spot. His next decision is everything on this
Yep.
race,
Gosh.
unfortunately,
If
because with this team, that's arguably the better go mode for this team.
mhm.
It's gonna be tough, but
If,
if he does find Dreamstone, that would be
yep.
huge too. Oh, but he is heading to desert to get his jerky.
Mm. Aku almost forgot to go talk to Balthasar, but remembered at the last minute. We'll see if he turns the new off.
You can't. We got to go fast. We don't have time. Yeah, it's just SOS and Geno that are unknown right now, I believe.
Well, we don't know. We haven't seen the pop, so we don't know what's behind Claw. Um, that might be the other one.
Yeah, but I meant as like
Oh,
active checks currently.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it would be really interesting if Rythyrix was able to find the Dreamstone pretty fast here. We'll see what happens.
It also depends because Tyranno Lair, that's another place that there's a massive time difference between a really really good Tyranno Lair
Hmm.
and a less than optimal Tyranno Lair. That's one of the places you can probably lose the most time.
Absolutely true. Some of those skips, if you don't land them,
Oh,
that'll
and
waste a lot of time.
all of the rooms look identical or very similar. It's
Hmm.
really hard for new players to learn that dungeon and learn it well. Aku getting the shame fight against these guys,
Yep.
but that does mean
We
you
can
get a
get the
chest off to the
chest.
left.
Hmm.
Mid ether.
Yay. That skip's the hardest one for me, the one he
Oh,
just did. I'm just really
I
bad at the rhythm.
I couldn't tell you how much time I've spent with like Moon Blizzard and Procky trying to learn that skip, and
Hmm.
it just doesn't make sense in my brain. Ooh, Rythyrix with an interesting strat.
Oh.
The core has been taken out. This can get dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. He does have pretty good physical damage on
He
this team,
does,
so
and a lot of XP. He'll probably be just fine. There
yeah,
he
that'll do
goes.
it.
That can be really scary though. I know I've killed
Hmm.
the pants and the core before, and the
Yep.
top just annihilates me.
Yep.
Ooh, Aku just nipping that battle. It's really important
Ooh.
to stick on that left wall there as you come
It's
out of there.
it's really easy to forget that one on your way back since you have
Mm-hmm.
to go through there twice. Yeah, I'm not sure if Rythyrix is still Red Katana Chrono, but he did just pick up that Dark Saber.
And a very well executed, other than that hiccup with that skip, very well executed Death's Peak so far
Mhm.
from Aku. Oh, he does get that fight though. All right.
Yeah. I would expect Aku at this point, honestly, to have a pretty good rest of the run. I would say that the Death Peak Omen route is sort of more skip-oriented than Ocean Palace routing, and he's usually pretty good at those, and he's got so much good gear. He's really well set up for this.
It's going
I
to be really challenging um, for Rythyrix to catch up on the same go mode. That would be
Mhm.
very challenging with the gear difference just from Woe. Mount Woe is massive gear available there in most seeds.
Ooh, a Shiva Edge Rythyrix just got from a sealed chest. That's nice.
Now, does Aku has pretty good tools for single target, and
Mhm.
with Shock and Luca and Super Volt, I
Mm,
mean, he's got everything you could ask for this go mode, really.
it's true.
Other than,
I'm
well, I
gonna
guess
uh,
nothing resists fire in Omen.
nope, pretty much everything will die to fire. Its lava spawn won't last long with these attacks. Like, Like, he's not even healing Luca, and that might be fine. Yep, there you go.
Slasher 2 and a Wonder Shot for Rythyrix.
Well, a Slasher 2 from Jerky isn't bad, but he just found a Shiva Edge in a chest. So...
I like Slasher 2 for the speed.
That's true.
It would be a tough call, but I think I'd stick with Slasher 2 in most teams.
Yeah, it's hard to say, I guess, because Shiva Edge does have the extra critical damage, so it depends on how you're using it. Chrono is pretty fast
Oh, the
already.
Slasher 2 doesn't have speed, Angarel's saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
I
can't...
might be crazy.
Let's check the wiki.
Yes, somebody post a link in chat to the wiki, where you can look up all of your questions.
Yes. That is correct. Only the Slasher 1, so to speak, has the speed boost.
Well, you learn that you forgot something every day.
Oh, it's easy to confuse the two. Alright, here comes the Ocean Palace. I joke that Ocean Palace Go mode is my favorite Go mode because it has a built-in bathroom break with this cutscene, but it's actually just my favorite Go mode because I enjoy the Black Omen.
See, this is the section of the run that I call the meme ad, where you run a 45-second ad because it's a minute and 6-second cutscene.
Of course.
Aku going to maybe pet the cat again?
Yep, it's... Chrono's house is a reasonably convenient spot for a free heal. Since there's only one bed, they don't have to animate all 3 characters getting out of bed, so it's faster than an inn.
It's also a really convenient location to pet a cat, which you should always stop and do if you have the opportunity.
Yeah, you should always pet the cat, and not just because it validates your run. Yep, Rythyrix, onto Prism Shard.
But nobody lets you pet the Cadillac at the fair.
Nope, he's busy.
So Rythyrix did go get the Moonstone as well. So he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone here.
That's good. I'm glad he remembered where it was.
Yeah, because that's easy to do.
Oh yeah.
I
have
forget.
bad panic problems when I play, so I forget everything. So if it was me, I know I would have left it there probably.
So yeah, it is looking like we're going to see Black Omen twice.
Yep.
And Aku's got that boost in gear, as well as this at least slight head start. My guess, I can't say for sure, but my guess is when Rythyrix enters Black Omen, Aku is going to be finishing the first boss of the gauntlet. Not of the Zeal gauntlet, but like of the whole Black Omen.
Yeah. Well, Aku went in at about 1 hour and 26, so we can keep an eye on the time when Rythyrix goes in.
Yeah, skipping Son of Sun, depending what Son of Sun was, which I can take a look at here.
Yeah, we're effectively about in go mode.
Yeah, we're far enough in. I don't remember where that got posted.
I got it in my PM from the tracker, so
okay,
might be in there.
Oh, I did, yes. So let's see what could have been. So if we had seen Son of Sun, that would have been the Dreamstone.
Ooh. If only.
So we very well could have seen a very fast go mode from kind of both sides, but you never know. The odds were just as high that it would be nothing.
Yeah, it's true. That would have been some race, though.
Yeah, it would have. It still is. I mean, it was still a good race. You know, we had that issue with the reset, and that cost Rythyrix quite a bit of time, and probably changed their decisions a little bit. Because, like I said, when you have something like that happen and it puts you behind, it's really easy to go, oh well, everybody's going to go here. I have to go out on an edge.
Yep,
I have to be the one taking the risk.
Absolutely what I did last time I raced, and it didn't work out very well, but we all have bad days.
And the biggest thing is that you learn, you know, we've all lost races and or we've all had runs where things could have been better, but as long as you learn something and you go, next time this is what I'm going to do, or if this ever, you know, I have to save before this scene specifically. Oh, Dragon Tank can be scary at a low level. Let's save before that if we're here early. You know, and that, as you learn those things, it becomes safer and it becomes more instinct.
Yep. As cliche as it is to say that losses are learning experiences, no, they really are. It's very valuable.
I mean, I learned by racing Moon Blizzard and Procky, both of which are like incredibly higher skill than I am at this game and have been for a very long time.
They're good runners, yeah, both
you
of
know,
them.
I'd watch my run and I'd watch what they did different, and I'd figure out, well, what can I change? What can I do to optimize this?
Absolutely.
Aku running through Black Omen as Rythyrix finishes up the trial here. And he's about to learn the same thing Aku learned about where the rest of this run is going.
Yep.
Rythyrix heading back down to the basement to turn in that sunstone.
I think I'm not mistaken that he did pick up the sunstone. I think it's our manual tracker that doesn't differentiate between the moon and sunstone icons. Yes, he does have it good.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't think Queen Zeal is going to be a big fan of the Crisis arm.
No, I somehow don't think so.
Just a hunch.
Another crisis arm. And a prism dress.
Oh, he did not have the sunstone. He's setting that up now.
Yep. And another prism dress. Wow. Omen has a lot of good treasure on it. Whether that treasure will help Rythyrix close the gap anymore, we'll see, but he'll be finding the same stuff Aku is.
That Mount Woe play still showing itself as
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see a lot of these encounters go down to one shot. And even some of these bosses, he's just going to slam through these bosses.
Yep.
This is one of our last shots at really good gear here to this whole room. And we got a couple nice things.
Nice. Don't remember what sword his chrono is still using, but that Cali blade could be pretty nice.
I don't think Rythyrix will even get the Crisis Arm because that was on Woe.
There was another one in the Black Omen just now.
Oh, was there? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Crisis Arm and 2 Prism Dresses, back to back to back.
See, I would if I were in their shoes, I think I probably would have taken Luca Marl Robo with Crisis Arm. So I could have Antipode and like Robo Tackle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with a Prism Dress to give to Marl, because she can be super squishy, which is the main reason I don't like her in the Zeal 2 fight. I mean, she's fine, but that's her main weakness, I think, in that particular one.
It is.
But that Prism Dress should hold her pretty good.
These Cybots that look a surprising amount like Gato.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you aware if that fight is skippable? Because my understanding was it isn't, but I've heard people say you can skip Cybots. Okay.
Well, you cannot, as far as I know, skip that fight. But you can run from that fight.
Yes. I usually choose to run. Their XP and TP isn't that good, so... Yeah. And their sprites are big, so they take a while to die. Oh, that was an amazing dodge there by Aku.
That was really nice.
Nice.
Shades of Chakosura with how well that was executed. Yeah, this is definitely Aku's race to loot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I agree that with chat that without Boss Rando on and with really good gear, it seems unlikely he's going to severely fumble any of these bosses. But yeah, as you were saying with regard to Marl, where that Antipode 3 really comes in handy is the Mammon Machine. It can be hard to kill that thing before it hits you, but with Antipode 3 damage, that's one thing that you might be able to do it with.
Ooh, another gold stud. I don't even know that it's going to get used.
I think there have been plenty of those floating around.
I still wish there was a mod that just... I want just a mod that the only thing it does is gives each player 3 accessory slots instead of 1.
That would be so much fun.
Or even just 2 accessory slots.
Even 2, yeah.
Prism Specs and Sunshades.
I'd love to not have to choose between Specs and a stud on Luca.
There would be a lot of fun stuff. That's one of my... You know what? I will say that is one of my complaints about Cross, is they do give you 3 accessory slots, and then they give you like 1 accessory every 3 hours of play.
Right? There's like no equipment.
Yeah, like you're never switching stuff in that game.
Let's give players the opposite problem. Well, I guess it's the other dimension, so I don't know.
Like, I really wish that it wasn't the case, because I would love, like I said, this game with 2 accessory slots would be so much fun. Dash Ring Gold Stud Luca.
Oh yeah. Right, Aki's gonna get started here on Giga Mutant.
Yeah, my estimate might have been a little bit off. Depends how the rest of this dungeon goes
Mhm.
for Rythyrix. Oh, and there comes that dual tech. It's gonna do a lot of
Oh,
damage.
that's Super Volt.
1,500. And Luca just can just continue her nap.
Now she'll wake up. I should pay attention to the Giga Mutant fight especially because I recently wrote strategy for it for the wiki and I should make sure I'm right. But that said, remember, anyone who wants to edit the wiki can, so if I wrote something wrong, please feel free to fix it. Anybody out there. Giga Mutant is immune to physical damage, so Fire Tackle wouldn't necessarily be the call.
So Aku does have to do the reset here, but
Mhm.
really, I really think it's only gonna be, a minute or two loss.
Yeah, I think Luca getting knocked out that quickly didn't help, because I think Flare and Super Volt might be the way to go. Unless, like, Double Bomb is on the table. I'm not sure that it is, though. Or quote-unquote Double V-Bomb. I still think that's a typo.
What do you think it's supposed to be?
I think it's just supposed to be Double Bomb. I mean, for what it's worth, at some point in my childhood, I bought the player's guide because it had lots of. I bought it for the pictures, as I always did back then. Um, and that just called it Double Bomb. So, you know, Gary was here, ashes and reason. And I think the localization for Chrono Trigger happened pretty quickly, like over a
There's
relatively short
there's
period
a
of time.
really good book about it. If anyone's interested,
Oh.
it's called it's from Boss Battle Books, and it's called Chrono Trigger. I think it's just called Chrono Trigger. It's available on Audible. And
Okay.
he got to interview the guy that did all of the localization work, and then also got to interview him about when they retranslated the game for the DS,
Oh,
how he
nice.
felt about that and how he felt about the new translation. It's a fascinating book. Everyone should read it if you're at
That
all
sounds really
interested.
interesting. All right, Giga Mutants down.
Oh, Mian jumping in, and yes, that is the book that Mian just linked, is the book I'm talking about. Fascinating read. Really enjoyed it. All right, and we are at the end of Death Peak, and he just finished the first boss in the Omen a little bit ago.
Alright.
How many encounters will the elevator hold?
Always the question. It can be 0 to 3.
I'm hoping it's 74. How awful would that be if somebody sent you a seed that they had edited to
Oh my
make the
goodness.
encounters on the elevator like 74 encounters? It just starts spawning like bosses, all the bosses of the game. This is a boss rush now.
Oh yeah. Boss gauntlet
Yeah.
on the Omen elevator.
Here's Nizbal, here's Masamune. I'm probably giving Pseudo-Arc ideas he does not need.
I mean, that would be a pretty fun game mode. I don't think I would recommend it for like playing with race flags or standard race flags, but you know, it could be fun by itself. Nice bat skip there by Aku.
Beautiful encounter skips through this whole dungeon. When people do Black Omen well, it is a sight to see. I remember one of the first times I ever got Black Omen Go mode. It took me an hour and a half to finish the seed, and I was so mad because I think I got Go mode at like 1 hour. So I was like, "This is so easy to get a new PB."
And then Omen get a Omen.
Yeah, exactly. An hour and a half later, I'm like, well, I'm still gonna finish the seed.
Well, Rythyrix didn't pet the kitty.
So unfortunately, they are disqualified.
Yep.
No, I joke, of
That's
course.
too bad. For anyone unfamiliar with the joke, we joke that you pet Chrono's cat to validate your run, so that we know nobody's cheating.
Yeah, I think it was something Corinth always did in his
I think
runs.
so.
And for those that don't know, Corinth was the runner-up of the first official Jets of Time tournament, and an incredibly skilled runner.
Yep. And a cat lover.
Yes. So Rythyrix walking into the Black Omen as Aku is beginning the second mutant fight.
Yep, so Rythyrix is about 20 minutes behind Aku at this point. Give or take.
Which I don't want to give too much of the wrong idea. With the time we're at, Rythyrix is going to have a good time.
This is not bad at all, especially for an Omen seed.
And having a reset that cost you, 5 or 10 minutes. But this really isn't a bad seed. I say for most runners that have been playing about as long as Rythyrix, I'd say sub 3 is good, sub 230 is even better. But it's difficult to get like your first like sub 2 seed. Sub 2 is a good time.
Absolutely. Once you're sub 2, it feels like you're just clawing at the extra minutes you can chip off.
Aku getting a slasher too. Just in time. Oh, and he's got blackmail for Zeal as well.
Very nice. No need for jerky, just do Omen. Indeed, yeah. And I think the Slasher 2 is a little better than the Kali Blade. I think it goes between Kali Blade and Shiva Edge.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Now this should be a fast boss.
Yep, it will do a little more damage than the other Lavos spawn did, but he should be able to tackle it to its doom, much like the other.
And probably confuse right after.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
And
my
that, yeah.
goodness.
See, last time when he opened with Fire Tackle, Robo only had a 2, and it still did 2.5k damage or something like that, so with a 5,
Oh my
gosh.
goodness. I would almost wait for Chrono and have Chrono use a healing item first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually, on an Aku's first Lava Spawn fight, I wondered if he was going to wait for Chrono to heal, and he didn't, and I was thinking, oh no, and then I was like, oh, it did that much with a 2? Never mind, I'm
Yeah.
worried over nothing. And there it goes.
And let me just take a second to mention, if anybody in chat is interested in running this or learning more information or seeing more events, of course follow the channel. But also we have a very active Discord where we, you know, share when we're doing our runs, we talk about strategies, we answer questions. If you're at all interested, that is the first step in joining, is to join the Discord, start rolling some seeds, and have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Come join us. Everyone is welcome to play and participate, and we're always creating opportunities to race. So if you feel like you're too new, don't. It's fine. Please join in.
And there's the link for it. Aku doing his final checks before heading into the Zeal Gauntlet.
Yep.
What
Feeling
do you
pretty good, it looks like. Sorry?
what do you think of the room Aku just ran through? Like that room has never fully clicked for me.
I don't know what the deal is. I
It's like it's obviously supposed to be really impactful or really important, and I just don't. It doesn't fit with anything else I know in the game.
it's like, are they trying to tell us that Zeal and or Lavos, they know who we are and they know what we're capable of and we should be scared of them? But it's almost like there's some dialogue missing explaining,
Yeah.
you know, we don't really know what the Black Omen is for. I mean, I guess what it is, it's the revived Ocean Palace because Lavos's eldritch powers, whatever, can
Oh,
pretty
Pseudoark
much.
making
Yeah.
a really good point about Lavos has all the DNA of all the creatures, and they're maybe making the point that
Yep.
he even has their DNA.
That is true. That's a good point.
Down goes Zeal, leaving a dark helm in her presence.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's a menu glitch right here. You just need to press X right as the screen goes to black. There's a
And
couple moments in the game you can do that. That's the easiest one, though.
Aku has at least one Mega Elixir, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Rythyrix just picked up the Omen Crisis Arm, and that one's a Prism Dress. There's another Prism Dress coming up here, I think, too. Which is especially nice for Rythyrix, because he's using Marl as well.
Do you want to talk about the I guess not recent anymore, but the changes made to Mammon Machine a little bit? How that affects the runs now a little?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm not sure I'm super familiar with them, actually.
So the big thing is that energy release attack is much stronger, and
Yep,
so now it's a lot more of a threat to get hit by Mammon. It used to be you just spammed AoEs through Mammon. It was like a joke fight almost. Now it can be a pretty big threat.
that's true. Um, it's not necessarily difficult to live through that energy release attack, but you're going to get put through to the Seal 2 fight immediately after you defeat Mammon Machine, and if your HP's low, Zeal with her 3 parts can end you pretty quickly.
And we begin what should be the final boss for Aku. If he's able to hold his lead here and take home the win.
Right, let's see. Fire Tackle with a 5, I think.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness, that's a third of his health.
yeah,
More than a
3 of
third.
those 3 of those will do it.
He'll almost certainly avoid halation. He just has to hit twice to avoid halation.
Even if he doesn't,
Oh!
oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
almost.
I think the only reason he didn't avoid halation is because her turn was coming right up. I think he could have.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you could probably just leave Chrono down and do that
Oh.
tackle. Oh, ouch. Okay, there's
Oh,
MP Buster. That
no!
that won't kill her.
Wonder shot, do your magic! Blap! That's what you gotta do.
Well, okay, so if Aku can stop and think, what I'm thinking is that Zeal's got 1600 or
Yeah.
16,017, way
I
more than
think
that.
I think
Huh,
he's getting Robo up for a Robo tackle,
yeah,
like a quick Robo tackle.
I think a flare would have done it.
I think so too, but if for some reason it didn't, you wiped. So I
Hmm.
think his thought is Robo can survive a couple hits. So if he can
Yep.
get Robo revived, he's safer.
Yeah. Nope. Just
I don't even
one.
think he needs to be doing all
Uh,
this.
no, I think one tackle will do it. Heck, I think Sudork is right that Wonder Shot could do it too, but Wonder Shot might not do it, so it might not be the time to. Ooh,
Oh,
that's unfortunate.
yeah, he was one command away. I'm
Hmm.
really surprised at how that went because he definitely had a good shot at taking that down.
Yep.
That is going to give Rythyrix a little bit of time to continue taking. Continues running
Mhm.
through the Black Omen as he hits the goon fight as Aku heads back into Zeal 1.
Yep. And Rythyrix is definitely picking up some pretty good gear. He won't have exactly what Aku has from Woe, but Omen's got some pretty good stuff too.
Aku has to be kicking himself a little bit and wondering, am I still ahead? That would be the biggest thing on
Mhm.
my mind right now, would be, did they just pass me?
Yeah, I would definitely be wondering. Especially when you're at the final boss. One assumes you maybe have a matter of minutes to pull out the win.
Yeah.
Um, since they're in a race room, he probably knows that Rythyrix isn't done, but that's all he knows.
Yeah, exactly. And we're pretty casual with that as far as like when we do the races. Um, Sorry, I had to sneeze.
No problem.
It's really nice to be able to see that, especially in like a four-person race, because it's just so much more fun to like watch and like you're in the final boss and you're like trying to get those last couple things put in, those last couple of texts put in, and you're just waiting for it to pop up and say somebody else finished. It's
Mhm.
nerve-wracking in the
It's
best way.
so yeah. Rythyrix's Omen run is interesting here. I actually think he's closing the gap fairly well. I think he would be closing the gap better if he were skipping a few more of the fights.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right, Aku slamming into Mammon.
that should do it. And a Vedic blade. Actually, no shortage of chrono swords this run, of decent
No,
ones.
no, this was a good seed to get Chrono so early.
Mm-hmm.
Akuheish heading back into Zeal 2. I'm sure just wondering if his opponent is in the same fight.
Mm-hmm.
As Rythyrix fights the mutant, and Aku heads back in to Zeal 2. And I think he's going to be a bit safer this time. He's probably going to put Chrono on straight up heal duty.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost certainly what I would do in this case, because at this point you just have to finish strong, and you can't have another wipe.
Indeed. Okay, let's see what this knocks Robo down to. A 6, that's good. Last one went off at a 2, so it was a little bit meh, but 6 should be alright. Probably more than alright, honestly.
Yeah, that's more than all
Yeah.
right. See. Yeah, you just use the mega, and
Yep.
whoever gets MP busted gets MP busted.
Mm-hmm. You know, Chrono's fast, he can be ready with an ether.
Good save. If he had actually input that command, he would have lost the ATB round
Yep, for
for
both
nothing.
characters too.
So that was really good. Oh, Azur's saying it'll always be the center character gets
I
MP
that
busted.
and looks like
If that is true,
one
then I would
more.
have put Chrono in that spot at the start of this.
You know, I've never been positive, but I think Azur is right because I like to put Luca at the front of my party because she's my favorite, and just because she's my favorite. And I feel like it's always Luca, and I'm like, you know, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Moon getting his mind blown in chat. He loves learning those new pieces of info. Anything that can give you an edge in this game.
Yep.
Moon Blizzard famously putting out the list of where to put Robo in your party to use
Yes.
double V bomb.
Mm-hmm. It's very useful.
Robo
All
down
right.
again, but I don't think it's gonna
Yeah.
matter.
No, he's been doing decent damage with Chrono and Luca. Yep, time for Aku.
There
Very
it
nice.
is. Aku
Just
finishing somewhere around the 2 hour, 1 minute mark.
yeah,
We'll get an exact
201.
time. Grab an exact time. It was a 2:01:05 or '06.
Yep. Nice job there by Aku. Let's see.
And
GG.
Thanks.
That was quite the run. Congrats on the crisis arm in the tunnels.
Yeah, that was surprising.
I think after that one race, you like earned that crisis arm from the tunnel. So I was happy for you.
Thanks. And then I found another one later on, but
Hmm.
having it early helped out a lot.
Yeah, no, that was some good use of it too, for sure. Um,
Aku, how do you feel about the run? I mean, you had to have felt like you were behind a good chunk of that, right?
For a little bit, then there was only one way for progression that I felt okay.
yeah, that is true. Once a lot of the obvious early checks were cleared, there were only a couple different ways to go. Um, and I think that doing the prism shard earlier was definitely a help.
Yeah, it was. Get Marl in there, get her out of there quicker,
Hmm.
get the final team their points, and use that fire tackle.
Yep, fire tackle your way to victory for sure.
Yeah, that was putting out some crazy damage. Now, that Zeal 2 wipe, you were so close. You had to have been within like 1500 damage.
Yeah, it was close. Then she just nailed Chrono at
Do
that
you
Mhm.
do you think
part.
Flare would have done it?
Flare might have,
I
but
know
the
if it
fight
didn't,
just
you were
got
dead.
away from me.
Yeah. That's a really challenging spot to
Mhm.
get put into.
And then I was thinking Flare for that second one, but I played it safe and went with Fire Sword 2.
Yeah, no, and Fire Sword 2 was doing good damage, and that ended things pretty cleanly. So, all in all, pretty good second fight there. Really good Mammon Machine, though. I mean, Mammon Machine can really trip you up on the way to Zeal, and you did not let it do that. Very impressive.
When you're doing 7,000 damage and it only has like 9,000 hit points,
I think it is 10,000, yeah. No, it's true.
still.
You do have to keep an eye on things with the crisis arm. You know, people do get excited to see it, but you still have to pay really close attention. If you wind up with a 0, suddenly that's not so good. So
did did
definitely
did you have the haste helm on anybody?
At the end, I don't think so.
Okay.
If I did, it was on Luca.
Okay. It didn't look like you did on the end. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, like at 13 speed at minimum, Haste Helm does hardly anything anyway.
Fair enough.
yeah, that is true. At that point, you may as well take something with status protection or something instead.
Yeah, I went more for defense at the end.
Hmm.
Rythyrix continuing his Terra mutant fight here.
Yep.
He follows in Aku's footsteps, heading into the final gauntlet. So, did you consider taking any other teams?
Not at all. Super
No.
Volt for the win to have Chrono deal more damage for the mutants.
Okay. Fair enough.
And it
Yeah,
was doing a little bit more than Flare.
yeah, fair enough.
Terra mutant going down for Rythyrix.
Hmm.
And grab our rock, Silver Rock.
Silver Rock.
Yeah, at this point, I don't bother with rocks anymore.
Yeah,
Y-
it's in rare situations. I more grab them because they come up on my custom tracker, and
Mhm.
I like seeing them light up on there.
It's one thing if you just like collecting treasure.
Yeah, I just never equip them.
Hmm. I'll use the blue rock if, the stars align, but they rarely do because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like go out of my way to put that party together. But if I have it and I get the rock, then absolutely, sure.
Yeah, it's challenging to remember which one is which you really have to do to be able to use it with any efficiency.
That is true. I feel like in terms of rocks, it helps that I would argue mostly the ones that you want are the offensive ones. Maybe some people play more defensively than I do, but mostly I remember black and blue, and I just don't think about the other three.
I think there are a few instances, Moon Blizzard can probably tell us, a few instances where um, Puyozo Dance can come in handy for a couple fights, I want to say.
Yeah, that's possible that it could.
Maybe double golems
Mhm.
or Masamune.
Yeah.
One of them. I think there's somebody that can be effective on. And Gatling Kick is not god awful. It's pretty fun to use in like Lost Worlds Plus to one shot Mother Brain. That's always a lot of fun.
Mhm. That is true. This lava spawn is probably not going to last too much longer.
No, I suspect he'll go down pretty quickly.
Where did he get that wonder shot?
Oh, that wonder shot was that I think that was in a sealed chest in the jerky house, maybe? I think it was in a sealed chest. Yeah, Mian confirms it was in the upstairs from the jerky in the sealed chest.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't check any of those sealed chests.
Yeah. We've seen a couple okay items from them, but nothing too interesting. I think there was a Shiva Edge in the jerky house in 600. That was maybe the best sealed item we saw.
Yeah, it was really interesting, Aku. I wanted to talk to you about that. So, you went straight to Hekron Cave,
Mm-hmm.
and you found the
Gate
gate
key.
key. Your opponent went straight to Dinadoro and found the pendant. And you guys went off in completely opposite directions.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But Mount Woe really was good to you.
Yeah, honestly, even though it didn't lead to a progress item, all of that gear, oh my goodness. That definitely was a benefit.
Yeah, I liked that play because I think I would have done the same thing. I
Mhm.
think I would have run off to Woe as soon as I realized it was available.
Yeah, and being restreamed, I will tend to go off and do some extra things
May
to
as well make
show,
it a fun show, yeah.
yeah, show off a little bit.
Well, Batsy was saying that your crisis arm in the secret tunnel um, was just karma from when
Yes.
she found hers in that secret tunnel, and you found something else. So it's your turn to get the crisis arm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I was happy. About as happy as I show anyway.
I mean, since Robo was a starting character, I'd imagine.
Yeah, Robo Maro starting character, so I did play the long game of buying the Moonstone right away too.
Yeah, we noticed that. It's like Rythyrix did not get the menu glitch. I think he hit X a little too early because he's got the little input indicator on screen.
Mhm. Yeah, that is always more forgiving if you do it first. Like if you do it late, I mean, not first.
Mhm.
It's always more forgiving to be late than early on those menu glitches. Okay. Heading into that Mammon Machine fight. It's always a ton of fun. Chrono missing.
Chrono!
I thought you played well, Aku. There were some moments, there were a few things you did that I thought were really interesting, and you guys uh, diverged in routes immediately. Like, even your starting XP like grind spot was different. So
Mhm.
that was really interesting to see you guys take like completely different decisions.
Yeah, I went to my backup starting fight. Otherwise, I try the Dinadoro fight.
Yeah, that's how
Mm.
I am too.
Yeah, if I know I can't beat up those guys there, I'll do the the shop fight
The
instead.
market fight, yeah.
Yeah. And it was interesting because I think that got Rythyrix shock on Robo before Naga fight, which
Mhm.
I don't think you got that lucky. I think you started with the healing double tech.
Yeah, I had the healing double tech first because I did not get the second text for the two characters.
And Mammon Machine is down as we head into Zeal 2. And this could very well be, a it's almost certainly sub 230 if he keeps everything together and gets through this boss without trouble.
Mhm.
A really well done boss fight here. Could definitely be sub 225, maybe even 220.
Maybe 220. It's possible.
I think it's possible, but everything's got to go pretty right.
Yeah, it's tight, but not out of the realm of possibility, I think. So we'll see what happens here.
How many megas does he have?
Um, he
I
had one, and I don't know if he used it.
Because I know you had one going into this.
Right.
We're
I
going
was hoping
Fire
to
Sword
have more,
2.
but
We're gonna see Fire Sword 2 and then some hasting going on, so that I assume so he can keep the consumables flowing
Mm-hmm.
and get everyone else hasted. Or he might not even. He's gonna get Marl hasted up for more Ice Sword 2s, which are doing pretty solid damage. They're no fire tackle.
fire tackle, crisis arm,
Yep.
Robo's ribbon,
Mm-hmm.
max damage, one attack. Even though it failed at the end, but still, I still did it.
Doing about
More
1,300.
haste.
So that's about a cycle of 4,300 damage, which could be enough. His timings are going to be really important.
Yeah. Who takes the ATB penalty when Chrono and Luca are doing a double tech? Is it still Luca,
I
or
think
does...
it's Luca.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Chrono counted for that. Um, which is all going into a comment. This will make very little difference, but because Luca is so high up on the oh, I don't know what to call it. There's like a list, a descending list of who takes the ATB penalty. But she's second on the list, so if Chrono doesn't take the ATB penalty, I'd haste Luca before I hasted him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's generally why I give Luca the haste helm too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does help mitigate that a lot.
Trying to get all that damage in before Hexagon Mist comes out.
Mm-hmm. Here's MP Buster, so...
No halation though, or did I miss it?
Halation did go off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't be a whole lot more on this fight. A few more rounds of this if everyone stays healthy. Couple more attacks. Oh nope, that's the
There
one.
it goes. And GG Rythyrix. Welcome, GG.
Hey. I lost way too much time with that wipe in prison.
That was unfortunate.
We see a 2:18:16 finish from Rythyrix here. Still a pretty decent time. That wipe definitely cost you, and then Aku took a trip to a secret tunnel and got a crisis arm pretty early. And he also went up to Mount Woe and did some shopping. That got him a whole
Sounds
bunch
like
of
an
gear.
excellent thing to do.
So
I'm going to blame RNGesus for that one then. Silly crisis arm.
Yeah.
So what made you? So I want to ask you, Rythyrix, what made you decide against going to Son of Sun?
I had no
Eris?
fire. I had no fire protection.
I
Just
see.
I was not confident in my ability to both have enough action economy, enough turns essentially, to kill the flames and survive the flares and beam. There was no point in trying that and wiping over and over again if that wasn't the case. I suppose I could have used barriers, but no.
Fair
Not
enough.
for something that slow.
Yeah.
What was that Son of Sun anyway? I'm assuming that Aku did it.
I did not do
Aku
it.
did not.
It was
But,
the Dreamstone.
It was the Dreamstone,
Ah.
and we were really hoping you were going to go for it because it would have been right around when Aku got Go mode. And you were a little behind, both because of the reset and maybe because of checks. You know, that's always harder to say.
Welcome to Rando. It will Rando.
Rando gonna Rando. But it would have been pretty interesting. I will say that if you don't have fire protection, Son of Sun is still pretty doable as long as you're like level 20, but I don't know what level you were at.
Yeah, I wasn't paying that much attention to it.
You probably had enough to do it. It may have been a little tight, but it was interesting because you went Dinadoro right at the start, which I thought was really interesting. You don't see that a whole lot outside of Boss Rando.
I mean, Boss Rando duplicate characters is what I normally play, so
okay.
There you go.
Fair enough. That makes sense then. Because I was explaining earlier, when I first started learning, that was really meta. Like, everybody would go to Dinadoro right after Xenon. And then Hecarim Cave started becoming more preferred, just because it's free XP.
Assuming you have a screen clearer, I suppose I could have used Robo, but I really didn't want to do that until I had Magic unlocked.
No, and that's fair.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of decisions. You never know how that stuff's gonna go until you do it. And you know, the one seed you do it might be the seed that doesn't help you. So Rando gonna Rando. But I appreciate you guys all helping out tonight and racing. And I thought that was a really good matchup. You guys made different decisions like every step of the way.
Well, it was certainly a fun way to spend 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 16 seconds, so I'll take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a great race.
I'm going to check if anybody in our community is streaming.
Yes.
And we will pass things on to somebody else. But I appreciate everyone coming out for the race. And let's see. We'll send people over to Speed Gaming 4.
All right, sounds like a good time. And meanwhile, thanks everyone for coming and watching us, and thanks to the runners and Cthulhu Crisis for being on comms with me, Mian for tracking. And we'll hopefully see everyone next week, and if not then, soon.
I look forward to it, and have a pleasant rest of your nights.
Yeah, everybody have a good night, and we will catch you guys next time.
All right.